Hi everyone, if you enjoy what I do, then I think you'd enjoy my short collection of short stories and new paranormal thriller, available now on Amazon. Please make sure to subscribe and consider becoming a Patreon. Enjoy the video! Appearing almost at random to sell his bizarre wares, the travelling merchant would be seen as a godsend to some, sourcing goods they may otherwise not be able to obtain, and only a vague annoyance at the very worst. But what if this innocuous-seeming trader was not all that he appeared to be? Sent by those with a close eye on the pulse of the world, and scorned by one of their own, the merchant watches and waits for its time to come. By the lizards long ago, however, the terrain can be extremely dangerous. Right, time to die! Setting out shortly after it had been discovered what the steampunker scientist had done, the one who had come to be known as the travelling merchant endeavoured to track the scientist down and return her along with the stolen contaminator within a matter of mere hours. The situation had grown dire, however, and an environment which was once easily traversable was now a patchwork war zone of hallow impurity. By the time he had made it through to a safer land beyond, all trace of the scientist was gone. Rather than head back in defeat and risk being trapped within the city, he would continue on, for he knew where she must be going. The reports returned from the outside world had spoken of great battles with mechanical menaces, and he believed it would be the metallic corpses which she would seek. What she would do with them, however, he did not even want to imagine. Indeed, while those creatures had certainly been a beacon and of great intrigue to her, it was really the Dryad she sought, and her power over nature. It just so happened that both paths would lead to the exact same place. After days of perilous travel, avoiding towns and villages out of fear that what she carried would be discovered, the scientist came upon the settlement said to have been built by the so-called champion of Terraria. While part of her had expected the stories to be false, to the scientist's surprise, she indeed found the Dryad dwelling within. Despite what had occurred in their collective past, the meeting of the two was amicable enough, and quickly the scientist revealed why she was there. She implored the Dryad to provide a solution to the Hallow, not just for her city, but the world that it would eventually engulf. The Dryad told that while her purification powder would work on the dark lands of crimson and corruption, the Hallow was a land of light beyond control, bearing a deep connection to the Dryads, making her purification powder have no effect. She did speak, however, of how this powder could become tainted during times of great evil, and how the Hallow would wither from its touch, replaced only with one of the other cursed lands. It wasn't much, the scientist decided, but it was something, and she would take the Dryad's purification powder and travel deep into the corruption, where she would collect vile samples of the land's flora, in an effort to prove a theory even she wasn't sure would work. Seeing how much the scientist feared for the world though, the Dryad decided that the steampunkers may have grown past what they had become in their youth. She also knew that she no longer had the power not to take advantage of their clear talents. As such, she would lift the spell which she and the wizards of old had placed on the scientist's kind, so that she may go about using her genius unhindered. It was an act that may have implications beyond the realm of Terraria, however, for immediately the steampunkers, still besieged by the Hallow, felt a change. It was a change that would be felt by the merchant as well, giving him a clarity of thought which he had never possessed before. For the moment though, his goal was unchanged. The scientist was a traitor, and must be returned for judgment. His priorities may yet change though, as he came upon the champion's town, only to realise that he knew this place. As part of his scouting duties to originally find a cure for the Hallow, he had visited this town, traded with its people. Could he have been so close to the answer, only to leave without it and condemn his people? No, the scientist must either be wrong or here for some other nefarious reason. If what they had sought was here all along, then he would have found it. As he once more approached the town, ready to pose as the same travelling merchant he had been thought to be previously, he discovered just how wrong he could be, as he witnessed the champion testing the contaminator, transforming swaths of the hollow into lush purity. Against all odds, the scientist had done it. She had returned from the Darklands with samples of their terrible blight, which she would use to temper the Dryad's purification powder and mix into a solution that was capable of stripping the Hollow, as vile powder might, but rather than spread the terrible corruption, allow the natural state of the world to thrive. Not knowing how to proceed, the merchant remained a while longer to observe the developments, toying with the idea of taking back the contaminator and what solution there was. Of course, she would see him for who he truly was long before he could act, and alert the town at the first sign of trouble. The only reason she had not done so already was in a simple effort to protect the anonymity of her people. Besides, she wanted him to see what she had accomplished, and the good the contaminator could do in the hands of the champion. Finally, the merchant would decide to return home, if it still existed, and report his findings. Maybe a force could be raised to return and take the prototype and the scientist's knowledge by force, but as things were, this seemed unlikely. At this point he felt as if he would be returning to a ruin only to die. But he did not expect that the Hallow had not only been stalled before it reached the city, but a path had been opened so that supplies could be sourced. That was not all, for the lifting of the Dryad's age-old spell had unlocked a host of technologies the steampunkers never believed their equipment capable of. The stalling of the Hallow was merely a temporary effort, but now with their newfound knowledge, the steampunkers had devised a way not just to escape the Hallow, but the whole of Terraria, in order to find a new home in the distant regions of the infinite omniverse. As they always did though, their efforts would have unexpected side effects and leave Terraria open to the influence of the worlds beyond. Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked what you saw, then I think you'd like my short collection of short stories and new paranormal thriller. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, sharing it with all your friends, and if you want to support me that bit more, become a patron. Links are all down in the description. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you next time.